Now, the next thing we need to break down is a breakdown in net. Ilya Samsonov. I got so heated when I got home last night that I called him Sergei Samsonov to my wife, and she's like, "Who are you talking about?"
He was drafted by the Bruins, and people thought he would be better than
you do that on the show when you're not heated.
I know. It's ridiculous.
I don't think that had anything to do with it.
He's the most notable Samsonov.
We have probably seen Ilya Samsonov's last game as a Leaf, barring some sort of injury. Joe Woll, if he backstops them all the way to the cup, Sammy's not playing. And you cannot... you can't have this guy in the net and expect to win.
No.
And I'll give Joseph Woll credit. Last night, he made some good saves in the third period.
Sure.
He didn't look good in the regular season. So there's my beacon of hope. Now, I want to play a little bit of Steve's LFR from last night. This particular clip is a big one, and it starts with the Sammy Pyramid of Giza look. Now, we'll break this down in a second, but go ahead and play it, Jesse.
Look at that nose.
The Giza! Producer Drew was in my ear during the streams like, I think you're being too hard on Sammy. Like, maybe he wasn't set. Wasn't set! He's the goalie! Like that goal from Trent Frederick. Oh, he was distracted from Tyler Bertuzzi and Brad Marchand. Ah! What are you talking about distracted? The puck! You're a goaltender! Tend the goal! The puck! The puck! The puck! Follow the puck! JVR went 5-0. 75% of the people watching this video right now could have seen that guy.
All right,
that
pause.
dude loves 3.
So the puck part, when I was in such a dour mood this morning that I'm watching this in bed with Natalie. Like, I had my laptop out. I'm like, let's watch LFR. Actually, she forced me to watch it because I'm like, I don't know, I'm too depressed. And then I watched it, and that the puck thing made me laugh so hard that I teared up and I farted.
Yes, that is the number one compliment you can give me.
Why didn't you tell us that?
Well, I just thought you should know because it was such a great icebreaker. It's the reason, like that video is by the way, it's trending on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
And it's because there's so much in it that really breaks down how Leaf fans feel. And I want to talk about Sammy quick before we get to the Nylander, Marner, Matthews, bench incident.
Please
I
get
think
my
that's
face
important.
off the screen.
And I think you said it perfectly in the video, Steve.
No, Maddie, put him back up.
Yeah.
You have the amount of fingers up that the Leafs will win games in a row.
Oh,
hey!
Jesse
He
Blake,
has
everybody.
3 fingers up.
That's right.
3-1, come back. Let's go.
That's right.
Starts on Monday.
Jesse,
Tuesday.
sorry, Steve. Steve made a really good point.
I know.
Which is Sammy was unbelievable last year against the Lightning. That is a series that the Leafs actually got really outplayed in, and Sammy won them the series.
He won them game 6.
He did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we said it on the show last year. We're like, well, they really didn't outplay the Lightning, and they actually won one. How weird is that? Mm-hmm. Then he got injured against Florida. Woll came in, did a great job, but it just wasn't enough. The team, they got rinsed.
Yeah.
It is what it is. With Samsonov, this is a player now that even with what they went through with him this year, they were willing to, and I give Treliving and staff credit for this, they were willing to wait this out.
Oh,
Try with this guy, try to rebuild this guy.
it's one of the best reclamation projects I've ever seen.
It's amazing. And towards the end of the season, with a week left, Sammy lost the confidence again. Whatever reason it was, I don't know what it is. He was terrible in the last few games, and he's been terrible going into the playoffs. And by the way, you should pay attention, and we didn't. You should pay attention to the last few weeks and how your team is doing beforehand, because it is sometimes indicative of how it goes into the first round.
Doesn't this happen every
Every year. It's the hottest team that wins.
Games 79, 80, 81, and 82, they're dead.
I tried to do that by picking the New York Islanders, and what did that get me?
It got you a big win last night. Got you a big win in overtime.
Me too. Hey, let's go.
Oh, but like Carolina is also hot going in because they're a very good team.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So the one thing I will say that changed in the first 10 minutes of the third period, the Leafs did actually come out. I'll agree with Morgan Riley on one thing. They didn't come out flat in the third. They came
already
out
down 3-0.
They were already down 3-0, but I do feel like when they were at their worst with Sammy earlier this year and Woll came in, they played differently in front of him. When that Leafs group lost confidence in Sammy, they played terrible, and so did Sammy. And then when Woll came in, they were a completely different team because they're like, okay, I know I can play now. And I saw a little bit of that, a flash of that last night. That's the thing that's giving me hope going forward. But I wanted to ask you guys with Sammy, like, this has got to be it, right? This has got to be it. Not just now, but later.
Like, unless the Leafs like somehow win this series with Wool and Wool gets hurt in like the Eastern Conference final. There's no way we're going to see this guy in a Leaf uniform again. Not playing, warming up, sitting on the bench. He's going to wear the shit out of that cap. He's done. He is done.
And why is he done?
The absence of stopping pucks.
I believe you said the puck.
The
puck.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like, listen, Reeves, bad giveaway. It's JVR tucking it weekly, 5-hole. Marchand on the power play. Poor coverage from the Leafs penalty kill. At least the second time this series, your knees aren't even facing the right way. You can't find the thing. You don't know where you're going.
He overcommitted too.
Yes.
With the Marchand goal.
And then the third one, yeah, it's a 2-on-0, but like you know you got no shot. So
well, I don't we don't need to see TJ Barty play another game either.
No, he's done too.
That gamble that he made to try to break that up, all he had to do was skate backwards and stay in the middle. He didn't even need to break the play or stop the play. Just stay in the middle. Instead, he gambles at the blue line.
Yeah, but why does he do that?
I don't know. Why does he do
Goalie's not making a save is why he did that. So I might as well try something. Like, I almost got to grade this defense on a curve. Like, it's one of those things where you look at the goalie and you're like, yeah, well, he's not getting any help. And then you start going into the decision-making of the goalie's teammates. Why are they making these decisions? Because they know you're bad. They know you're not going to give him a save. Or at least they don't know. They don't know. Like, there are teams out there.
knows.
Boston knows. They're confident enough in their goalie that they're like, you know what? What happens, happens. We can take some risks. We're going to be responsible. We're not going to be stupid. We're not going to be silly about it. But if things go south, we got Jeremy Swayman back there.
Yep.
And he might just give us a save. He might just give us a save. How many times has Samsonov given them a save? Dude, it's the second and third period of game 2. They won that game. You just have no shot otherwise. No shot.
Jesse, what did you see from Sammy last night that makes you... I don't know what you believe. Do you think Sammy's done?
Oh yeah, no, he's done. Like you don't bring him back. He's a UFA at the end of the season. Like I'm looking at who's going to be a UFA goaltender at the end of this year, and I look at like Anthony Stolarz. Like that might be a good little tandem with Joseph Woll. Maybe you bring back Martin Jones on some sort of really light contract because he performed well, but somebody might outbid you. You know, in that situation because of how well he played, and the market's a little bare for UFA goalies, so it might be a trade even.
Has to be
with Brody coming off, you don't bring Brody back. Klingberg's contract comes off. That frees up about $9.5 million. You're going to have some... And Sammy comes off too. So
there's 13 million.
So you're going to have room to play with to go get like a $3-4 million goalie. So I think there's an opportunity there. Just go buy something that's a little more stable than what you get with Sammy.
If you got just okay.
Yeah.
If you got a slightly above average goaltender who was consistently slightly above average.
Mm-hmm.
How many truly great goaltenders are like even left?
Well, I think you'd say UC Saros. I think you'd say Connor Hellebuck. I think you'd say, depending on the season, Markstrom has those years.
Both those goalies are losing their respective series.
Yeah, but let's be honest. UC Saros, he had one bad game in the Nashville series. Otherwise, he's been great.
He allowed 2 goals on... Or 3 goals.
Yeah, you can't take what's happened in the series and discredit UC Saros.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, like, growing up, Dominic Hasek is at the other end of the ice, and you're like, welp, hopefully you win 2-1. You know what I mean? Like Carey Price in his prime, Henrik Lundqvist, Andrei Vasilevsky a few years ago.
I would say those goaltenders also had bad games, and those teams didn't always win.
Yeah. But like
Lundqvist never won a Stanley Cup.
I know, it's crazy.
You know, Carey Price as well.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I think I don't want you to poo-poo on UC Saros.
No, I'm not poo-pooing him. But what I'm saying is the gap between a league average goalie and an elite one is probably smaller than it's been at any point in the last couple decades. There are elite goalies in this league, but and I'm not the gap between the best goalie in the NHL and like what the Leafs have gotten out of Ilya Samsonov at his not best is huge.
Yes.
And series and game altering. But the gap between someone giving you a consistent 905 and one of the league's best goalies is a lot smaller than you think.
And I don't disagree with that because of how much scoring has gone up. Like, we see the scoring curve go up and league averages go down. So you're probably getting more towards a median save percentage that you can probably find, just throughout the league. And if you can probably get somebody in the like top 10, like 10 to 15 range a lot easier than you probably could in the past.
And you know what? It's on the fucking general manager to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Just do it. I don't really care what it takes. Go do it. That's your job. People are asking. It's funny. Like you have this conversation with people and they're like, well, how would they do it? I don't know, man. But you know what I know? I'm not the one paid to do it. The second that I am, I'll try to figure out some strategies.
There's a lot of that with the no trade clauses on this team where
stop that
some
nonsense.
people think it's impossible that a player would ever waive a no trade clause, but it's something we see time and time again.
Every trade deadline, Jesse.
Every single time you need to trade a player, he ends up waiving.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
fine.
Who are the last two goalies to win the Stanley Cup as the starter?
Aiden Hill.
Aiden Hill last year.
Yeah. And in Colorado.
For $1,000.
It wasn't Francouz.
No, it was Kemper.
It was
There you go.
Darcy Kemper.
Here's $1,000.
And he got millions because
Yep.
of it. And Washington has benefited ever since.
And neither
Look at how
player-
great it's gone for them.
Neither of those goalies is currently the starting goalie for their
No.
team. Now, there are different situations there, obviously. But like Charlie Lindgren is straight up just better than Darcy Kemper. Like, if you, last year, at the beginning of the season, if you had to go, who is going to be in net for the team that ends up lifting the Stanley Cup above your head? Even if you thought Vegas was going to win the cup, you probably would have gone through 3 or 4 names before you got to Aiden Hill.
Yep. Yep.
Like, you play the right way and you get a goalie with the right mindset, they get hot, you can win.
But here's the problem. If I went into this series and I said, guys, I can see the future. And there are going to be 3 goalies that play in this series or 4 goalies that play in this series. But the one that plays the majority for one team has an 86 save percentage. You would say to me, well, that team's not going to win.
Is that what he has?
That's what he has in this series.
886.
Whereas Swayman has a 954. Part of that's because the Leafs can't score and are 1 for 14 on the power play. I had somebody complaining about the refs in my DMs last night. I'm like, are you kidding? They have 14 power plays through 4 games. The refs are fine. Nothing wrong with the refs.
The drop dead moment for me was how bad the 4-on-3 was.
It was horrible.
Dude, that's a gift. That's a gift from hockey god.
And they
got a
couldn't get his own
4-on-3
entry.
in the playoffs.
Couldn't get his own entry.
Couldn't. Oh, you stink. You stink.
So
get off the ice.
We talked about Sammy, and this is the thing about hockey fans is like we are raised, especially if you played, to never ever criticize the goalie under any circumstances. That's your guy. Yeah, and I'm done with it.
No,
I'm done. The reality is, no shot on goal in the NHL is fair. No shot on goal in the NHL happens because things went well.
Right.
For the defending team. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be about 30 a game. Hockey is a game of mistakes. You mistake your way into good plays. Mm-hmm. The good plays are like 1 in 10, right? The plays that work. Because it's a disc, it's ice, and you're playing on knives.
You know how many...
It's a chaotic game. You need saves. Sammy, there's nothing that unless JVR there with the 5-hole somehow flips it up into his jersey. I stopped it for Nat this morning. I'm like, where in this could he have stopped it?
Dude,
where could you have stopped
where
it?
JVR puts the puck. That's where he puts the puck.
And if you read a scouting report on him, that's where he puts the puck.
Check the game notes. Like, I know things happen fast. The best goalies in the world know. They know. Patrick Waugh, if you read about him in the playoffs, I think it was Patrick Waugh, used to talk about, when a certain player was coming up against me, I knew what he was going to do. I would research his tendencies and I would know them. Think of the greatest players at what they do. Like, think of, again, this documentary is so transformative in sports talk, but The Last Dance with Dennis Rodman. looking at footage and, I know if this guy does this, the ball is going to bounce here or it's more likely to bounce into this area. Like, put some effort into your craft. Like, oh, we're trying out there on the ice. What are you doing off? Any dope who watched the Leafs while JVR was there knew where he was putting that puck. That's where he puts it.
When this play happened last night, Adam, do you remember what I told you about how it unfolded?
Which play?
The JVR goal.
Well, it was obviously the Ryan Reeves didn't. He put it to the middle of the ice in his own zone when he could have flipped it up the board.
He did not put it to the middle of the ice. It bounced off the Bruins' skate and it went to the middle of the ice because Ryan Reeves isn't fast enough to get to the puck.
Sorry.
The two things. I think Sammy started playing street hockey goalie. When the puck's in the middle of the ice and JVR's got there, like, you guys are correct in that he's gonna go 5-hole. But Sammy's just standing there straight up, just trying to block this puck. It's ridiculous.
Now, I don't remember who pointed this out, but you see TJ Brody in the corner there.
Mm-hmm.
He can't get to where he needs to get in JVR's way because he's literally being held there by the Bruins player.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's how it's
Yarn Croak with Gudis. Game 5 against the Panthers. Wasn't called. I don't remember anyone apologizing for it. There was no press release. Yeah, we missed one. It's not a league, and the Leafs don't play like it.
Yeah, as you said, like, every goal that's scored in the playoffs is mainly because of a defensive breakdown, some sort of errors made, and those things turn into mistakes and they turn into goals because Stanley Cup playoff hockey is so tight. And in this instance, it's Ryan Reeves has the puck up against the boards and he's trying to race to get it, and he can't get there fast enough because he's not capable of performing at the speed of most NHL players. His stick is right there on the puck, and Lohrey's able to get his stick there and beat him to it and bounce the puck to the center of the zone, which then JVR turns around and gets it and is right in front of Sammy.
I do got to say, where the hell is Edmondson?
And I also
where is he going?
Sammy, who told you? Was it Drew that told you that Sammy didn't have enough time to square up?
No,
not on that goal.
No, I think no. You know what it was?
Sammy had enough time.
It's just sometimes I go squirrely on the stream, and he's in my ear. He's like, "I think you're being a little hard on him," But and sometimes I go, "Yeah, you're right," and other times I go, "No, screw you."
It's an instance where you got your fourth line out, and you have someone who's just not quick enough, and the opposing player beats him to a puck battle, and he tips the puck, and it just happens to bounce right in front of the net, and JVR happens to be right there. And he turns around and Sammy's standing straight up and your goaltender can't get you a save. And he goes 5-hole and it looks just awful on every single player on the ice.
I didn't realize it until you just brought it up, but like Edmondson's got to read better there.
Edmondson's going to where the puck should be going. Like he's trying to chase to where Reeves
not his fault.
is trying to pitch it out. And I don't
see the situation going badly though.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all in that he should have been like a little further back. But because Reeves is trying to chip it up there.
I mean,
to Edmondson,
a Reeves pass up to Nyes there, who's the rushing player, would be nice. I mean, a Reeves, anything other than what he did would have been nice.
Other than you lost the battle there, and it gets chipped by Lohrey. Like, it's not good, and Edmondson overskates it. Like, you're totally right. The puck goes right by his backside, and it goes right to JVR. Like, he overskated that completely, and this is what happens with the Leafs. They have 5 different errors that occur all at once, and it leads to a goal. You can blame like 4 different guys on this single play, and that's why Boston was able to score here. And this like every single play, like we'll focus on like one guy made a mistake there, like on a couple ones we've done so far in the playoffs. But like if you just isolate on each player, a lot of guys are out of position and a lot of guys made mistakes, and then Boston's just being able to capitalize.
It's the least cohesive I've ever seen them.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's a mess.
It's terrible, and it goes back to coaching and all that stuff.
So
it goes back to your goalie not being able to make a save like that.